Welcome to the inaugural Feathers and Fungi event. We were very excited this year to include feathers and fungi as a new element to Arts in the Garden. It was an idea of bringing together the concept of exploring mycelium and the fungus around us and how birds and that fungi relate. And so we have these wonderful artists that work in this year-round with us in an art and mycology project. And so they said, let's do this. And so they brought their gang together and we ended up having all sorts of wonderful workshops to bring together the concept of how mycelium and birds interact with each other in nature. I cannot wait for you to see all the amazing things that we have to share with you.
Hello everybody, I'm Carmen Rosine and I'm a visual artist and an interdisciplinary artist. So today we're going to be working with the kids to make bird wings. I think the very first thing we need to do is you guys need to look at the birds and pick a bird, and then we'll go around and people can come up and get a set of wings to go with the birds. We like to work with the actual birds of the area. So it's a way of helping people really get engaged in the local bird population because they've looked deeply at some images of some birds. And then when they go out into the wild and see the spotted towhee, they're like, oh, I've actually analyzed the wing patterns. And now I see it so much more clearly because I've had to work on it in a visual art kind of way. Okay, what are you going to be? What bird? Woodpecker. You're welcome. Stellar's jay. I think the dark gray. Yeah, I think that might be the one for you guys if you're going to be Stellar's jay. There's a lot of young kids and they're actually doing quite well and concentrating very well. But I always delay handing out the paints for as long as possible because that's when everything goes a little crazy. That's the next step. Because birds are always kind of hiding, you know, in the bushes and things, their base colors are actually quite subtle. But then, because they also want to attract mates and party with other birds, they have little flashy bits, right?
We are making the Stellar's jay. And we're doing a bit of a gray smush on the top layer. Here, right here. Smush on there. Very good. And then we're going to do some blue long feathers.
Are you having fun, Violet?
Yeah.
We're trying to learn more about the birds in our neighborhood. So we're trying to learn more about the native plants that are in our yard as well as the birds in our neighborhood to learn more about what to put out to feed them as well as how to spot them.
We love making stuff, and I just love even the name of the activity, like the fungi and birds. And we always go to the forest and look for mushrooms and for birds, so it seemed like a perfect fit.
I find, having done this workshop several times, that now these local birds that I've either painted or have facilitated for other people to paint, that I'm just so much more aware of the details of the birds. So when I see them in the wild, I'm totally mesmerized by how beautiful they are. And because I had to paint them, I notice them differently than just, oh, there's another little brown bird. Yeah. But everybody's really going deeply and trying to be aware of what their birds actually look like, which is the whole point, plus having fun. I think it was a big success. I think today was a really big success. The kids are thrilled, the parents are thrilled, and big smiles, and that really tells you how much fun they had. And I think we've got a bunch of beautiful birds that are ready for the bird parade tomorrow. Whee!
It's really nice having kids on site to create something about birds that has them start learning about the things that are flying around us right now, and then to connect that with a walk where we learn more about how the birds deal with plants, whether it's mushrooms, whether it's the Nootka rose or the salmonberry. At Wildbird Trust Maplewood Flats, we're really also emphasizing our relationship with Phleotis and who are we in relation to this place. And the more you can get in relation to those plants, the birds, pollinators, the fungi, the more you can understand and get rooted to this place and learn more about who's been here since time out of mind and how we can continue to learn how to be responsible in that way.
So my name is Willoughby Arevalo, and I'm really excited to bring folks outside to experience the fungi and the birds and the plants of this place with Cease as we lead our walk through the flats here. It's something that is a little bit of an experiment today, to be doing a feathers and fungi walk, because a lot of the relationships and interactions that we'll be able to witness between birds and mushrooms and other fungi a lot of those relationships are mediated and connected through plants. A mycelium is a web or a kind of a branched network of tube-like cells that are microscopic. They grow deep down into the mineral soil where they're actively mining minerals out of the rocks and then channeling those mineral nutrients into the trees. And also they're gathering water for the plant partners. And in exchange, some of the sugars made in the leaves of the plants go down to the roots to feed the fungi, and that's how they get their energy. To think about an organism as simply a parasite or simply as a mutualist is reductive, and I think it's helpful to open up to thinking about different types of relations with different types of beings. Woodpeckers and wood-rotting fungi are best friends. Some woodpeckers will actually intentionally inoculate living trees with the mycelium and or spores of this fungus, and then they'll come back a year later to excavate where they did a little inoculation hole. I fully believe that they are intentional and aware that they are cultivating fungi that they are working together with to create these cavities. Because I have seen so many connections that are more subtle between birds and fungi. I'd just like to bring ideas together and show the interconnections and the relationships through my work with educating folks. Every single breath of air you take, from the very first breath to your very last breath, has fungal spores in it. Absolutely. Know that. I wanted just to start by acknowledging that we are here on the territory of the Tsleil-Waututh people. They've been caring for this land and continue caring for this land since time immemorial, and it's with great reverence and respect and gratitude that I welcome you all here today, and really encourage folks to check out the Coast Salish Nursery and buy some plants, plant some plants wherever you can. Native plants, really important for all life around here. So my name is Willoughby, and I'm excited to be sharing this paper mache mushroom puppet making workshop with you all. The way we start is first choosing a mushroom. Yeah, so you may choose to make your favorite edible mushroom, like a porcini, perhaps. Or you might choose one based on its beautiful color, like this scarlet waxy cap. We could probably get away with doing a bird's nest fungus if we were real crafty. And then we'll start building up form with a newspaper. You'll start to shape it more and more towards the shape that you want, and that's part of the beauty of the crumpled newspaper is you can add more, you can squish it in and tape it down further. After you get all of the newspaper added that you're going to add, then you'll completely cover it in tape like this. And you'll go around with your fingernails and make sure the tape is really well pressed down everywhere. And then add some color to this using tissue paper and glue. The colored tissue paper will be like our paint and our coating.
Why did we come here today? We thought it would be a fun activity for the kids to do, and they want forest-themed rooms, so the mushrooms might be a nice addition.
I'm actually learning a lot too, just about the mushrooms themselves, so.
Yeah, we love mushroom foraging.
He's a newfound passion, so he's super obsessed, and we also just moved here, so a great way to meet community and people with similar interests.
I love mushrooms. I spent a lot of time in the forest getting to know the local mushrooms. Basically, I think mushrooms are the future.
I do know a lot about mushrooms, but I have lots left to learn still.
Mine is still the tallest.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was like good pacing, great instructor, great materials to work with. It was a lot of fun. I wasn't actually expecting to do masking tape, so I learned something totally new. I think it's almost ready. It's almost finished.
So you've done a very nice puffball here. Did you have fun making it? I'm glad. Good. So it's been a lot of fun making all of these puppets and making wings yesterday with Carmen. Isabel has done a lot of stuff around birds, so has Carmen. So we are bringing together these kind of two threads of work that we do, of nature-engaged artwork. It tends to be focused on birds or fungi. Now we're focusing on both together.
So some birds, they don't only fly, they also jump. So you could jump front and back, however you want, just warm it up. So my name is Isabelle Kirouac, and today I'm going to be teaching a bird movement workshop. And so we're going to learn to move like birds by learning about bird anatomy and our own anatomy as well as mammals. And I'm also talking about bird migration and murmuration, and we're going to move together and really just have fun. Gonna bring our hands to our sternum, this little bone we're gonna talk about when we talk about birds. They have a really, really big one. We have a small one. They have different bones. We have bones that are dense. They have bones that are hollow. So there's air inside. And the air allows them to float if they're a duck or fly. So to flap, it goes down to push yourself up, but then it goes a little bit of a figure eight to go down. It's so small that you can't sometimes see it, but they do a little bit of that. Little songbirds sometimes, the little ones like chickadees. So what they do is a bounding flight. So sometimes you see them on a branch and they go whoop, 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 like this. So they flap and then they do this and they let themselves fall. And then they continue, and then they let themselves fall. Now we're tired, so we're gonna do some flights that are energy-saving flights. One of them is gliding. Now we're gonna do some soaring. What does that mean? Soaring. Up. When it's warm, it goes up. And when it's cold, it goes down.
What I appreciated about the workshop was how much research Isabella has put into the movement work. So I felt like I was learning a lot about birds at the same time as taking a movement workshop.
That went super well. We had a good amount of people, lots of movement in the space, big people, small people, all moving together, and lots of smiles. Yeah.
So Feathers and Fungi was a huge success. We were so thrilled with everyone who came to all the workshops and talks. I mean, I think everything sold out. And the procession at the end was just magical. You know, we had stilt puppet people with feathers, all their bird costumes on, and all the people that made wings and took movement workshops were beautifully gliding through the Maplewood Flats area and honoring the space and understanding in a deeper way the relationship between mycelium and birds in that natural space. It was magical, and we can't wait to do it again next year.